Welcome everybody to the 5th Magic Friday. It's Super Bowl Sunday today, and I do love sports. When they take that stick, those boys, and they're hitting that birdie into the bottom of the 14th quarter, and they're swimming their guts out. Love it. All right, you caught me. I know nothing about sports, nothing. However, I didn't get caught on Friday performing the trick we're going to talk about today, which is Magick Balay, Magic? I think it's Magick Balay, I'm hoping. Magick Balay's 4 quarters. Ta-da, that's gone, it's over here. Presented by the New York City, New York Magic Project, which is Kevin Rylick. So in honor of New York City, we're going to get a little bit New Yorky today. I'm going to do the whole thing. I will not do the whole thing in a New York accent. I want to talk about a couple things today regarding money effects. So there's 2 things that I'd like to talk about, which is 1, the changing of a bill from one to the other, and then we're going to talk about Magick's actual switch itself. So there is a lot of magic that we perform that does work around the premise of changing a bill to another. Obviously, we all know Hundy 500, Heine, handout, you know, extreme burn, all of these things. And I would like to talk about the idea of switching $1 to hundreds or 5s or hundreds or 10s, 20s. I know everyone has a different opinion, and I'd love to read your comments, by the way, about your opinion. What you prefer down here. There should be a comment section down here somewhere. I've done Heine, or sorry, Heine, Hundy, I don't even know which one it is. Extreme burn. I've done this bill change for years. And this is my personal take. When I change ones, in Canada, I usually do 20s to hundreds. There's a couple things that goes on here. 1, we have the illusion of wealth, which is, boom, I've got 500 bucks on me. So I think the illusion of wealth is crucial to being a successful magician, which is, I think, for performing wise, people want to know that I have money. It implies that I'm a good magician, obviously, I'm successful, I'm working lots, and being able to have 500 bucks on me at the same time, not on separate days, it's impressive financially. A lot of people don't have 500 bucks in front of them. So when I show, 5 20s, check this out, boom, 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 500, sometimes, I don't know if the magic is that changed. All they can think of, in my opinion, in their mind is, wow, Jamie's got 500 bucks on him. It kind of alters the magic a little bit. And of course, the problem is if they actually do believe that I magically, right, change that into 500, why can't I do it for them? So, on that note, and this will all make sense to Magick Balay's trick, I promise. I personally believe that maybe 1s to 20s are a better idea. Because if I show 100 bucks, it's not such a slap in their face. When I do the hundreds, it's kind of like, I got 500. What do you got? It's a little bit painful. But if I use old Canadian $1 bills, which are kind of obscure. So when I show 5, $1 bills, and then people, you always comment because they haven't seen it in, years and years. I can change it into 20s. I can spend those 20s. Meaning I only do this trick when I'm buying something. So I go up to, and I'm with friends. I'm not performing this for the person I'm buying for because they're working, and I'm really against performing magic at somebody. That's what my wife always says. Don't perform magic at me. I don't believe in performing magic at people that are working. But if I'm with a group of friends and I pull out 1s, I'm going to pay with this. No, you're not. Boom, 20s. And then it's gone. That money's gone. I don't have to change it back because I'm spending it and I'm putting it in my pocket. So that's how I perform the traditional changing of the big bills. Now that said, I've also performed the Kozlowski $100 bill switch for years as well. And again, I'm into the same problem where typically I would borrow a 20, change it into 100, and my pattern used to be, did you know that if you fold this 20 up like this, that you can actually change it into 100? Now this is for you to keep, however, just whatever you do, promise me, when you go home, you don't fold it up like this because it'll change back. Sorry, I shouldn't have, and I can only do it once. Again, yeah, it's a little bit, Jamie's a jerk a little bit. So, I've stopped doing the Kozlowski for a while. I mean, obviously, you can do that with other effects. I know Jay Sankey's got an awesome signature switch. So I do use the Kozlowski with other things. However, the mismade bill is something that I never really explored too much. I am beginning, though, to believe, after doing the Magick Balays on Friday, that maybe it is the solution I'm looking for. The premise I use, however, is something a little bit more, we'll go into it a little bit more obscure, but it's interesting because I'm not changing it into something monetary, right? So I'm not showing off that I can make hundreds while they have to work at, their 7-Eleven job. Well, or amongst the gigs I do, probably, billionaires. Some of them, probably mock me for only having, 100. But the mismade bill it becomes magic, right? It's becoming now. It's a little bit more surreal. So I'm going to show you what it looks like, and I'm coining a new term for the Magic Friday reviews, which is called camera flash. I love it. Brilliant. Which is, I'm going to perform it. However, if I feel upon reviewing this tape that I flashed somehow, I'm going to put up a big black wall. It says camera flash. And unfortunately, you won't see what it looks like. I'm doing that because I'm very against exposure, and yeah, so sometimes it's hard to do magic for the camera without exposing it. So if you see a big thing that says camera flash in a second, it means I flashed, and you're just gonna have to roll with me. But basically, this is the way I was doing it all week, which is, how's everyone doing today? Check this out. You guys have been down to the States recently. Have you seen? You've all seen the $1 bill. Take a look at that for me. Everyone looks at the one. Everyone's here is seeing an American $1 bill. Now I'm going to try something with this all, and it's going to be a little bit, sleep. Now you're not going to believe me, but I just hypnotized all of you just now. No kidding. You don't believe me, but take a look. The way I can do it, or the way I know I've done it, is a test with this $1 bill. Because if I take this $1 bill and I fold it up and I go, whew, I bet you any money that it looks different, doesn't it? Does the $1 bill look different to you? Take a look. They're all looking at it. They can't believe it. What the heck? I don't tell them it's a different bill. My thing is, this is the same bill. This is the same bill. You say, to me, this looks normal. But is it blue to you? Does it look red or something? It looks what? Like four quarters. That's interesting. That means my hypnotization, as it were, has worked. And on that same thought, I'm going to hypnotize all of you into having the greatest weekend of your lives. On the count of 5, I'm going to snap you out of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you all ready for it? 5. I think we're all unhypnotized. Does that look normal now, or is it still purple? It's good? Awesome. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys next week. That's how it looked. So, that's my premise. I go on a little bit of a hypnotization premise, and I really like it. The mismade bill, I really like that premise, because it's not something they've seen before, right? If I switch, a 1 to 100, not only does it kind of give them the slap of the 100, but people have seen a $100 bill before. So they know that it's not the same bill, that it's been switched. By the way, if you're interested in other switches, John Lubbock's book, Switch, is a fantastic whole cornucopia of bill switches, which is something else you can look into. But I'm really liking the mismade premise, and I'm quite happy with using my hypnotic premise. Now, the question, of course, everyone has is, do I prefer this switch that we just did to Kozlowski's? And my final verdict is yes, believe it or not. I like Magick's switch better because, and I don't know if I had to put up a big black wall that says camera flashing on. But there is a moment where the bill does this. It kicks up, and unlike, and again, this is strictly my opinion, Kozlowski, everything, of course, I don't know if you're familiar with it, everything is very, you know, in here. Magick's, there's two things I like about it. One is that kick, because everyone's eyes are following money. Everyone's I mean, it's just instinct. The other thing that I like about it is the rotation. I don't know why, but I just saw myself on the screen. My hat looks terrible. It looks terrible. I'm doing the New York accent. I like this motion of Magick's. I don't know. I find that the turning, it psychologically seems more like how I would fold something. It's hard to explain. I mean, if I were to fold this piece of paper, would I go boom, boom? You know, I like this motion. It's for some reason, it gives some sort of legitimacy as to why I'm folding it. This probably makes no sense, but I am actually adopting this as my new bill switching technique that I'm going to be using, and I'm going to probably be doing this mismade bill at working gigs. I love the idea of them having something that is just totally freaking bizarre, and I think the hypnotic premise could actually work. So it worked on Friday. The other thing everyone probably wonders is, how does Magic Bob feel about the bill switch? And of course, as we know, Magic Bob kind of knows. He knows what a TT is, so you know, it didn't scooch by Magic Bob. Magic Bob, you know, is Wednesday, but he still thought it was cool. You know, he's like, I think I was like, yes, Wednesday. That's kind of cool. Where'd you get that? You know what I mean? So. And this brings me up to another interesting comment where some friends of mine phoned me last week, and they were like, we were at this show and we saw this magician and he kept sticking things into his thumb. So, ouch. So the whole premise of, by the way, of purple thumb tips, I don't believe at all. People will look for it, and that is something what I like about Magick, is that little kick detracts all attention. It's a fooler. I liked it. I'm gonna use it. I love it, as a matter of fact. So